The Magical Train of Little Sophie. Little Sophie loved spending time with her mom. Every evening, her mom would read her fairy tales, cuddle her before sleep, and sing lullabies. Sophie felt safe and happy only when her mom was nearby. Sophie's dad, although he loved her dearly, rarely had the chance to spend time with her, because Sophie always chose her mom. Sometimes, only sometimes, she would allow her dad to play with her for a while, but she never felt as comfortable as she did with her mom. One evening, as her mom was reading Sophie a story, the little girl fell asleep with a smile on her face. That night, she dreamed of a strange yet beautiful adventure. The magical train. Sophie awoke in a colorful, magical train. Lights twinkled around her, and soft music flowed from the speakers. Sophie looked around and saw that her mom wasn't there. Frightened, she began to call out, "Mama, where are you?" Suddenly, a smiling conductor in a shiny uniform emerged from one of the compartments. "Hello, Sophie," he said with a warm smile. "I am Mr. Conductor, and I will take you on a journey full of adventures. Don't worry, your mom is safe at home. You now have the chance to discover something new and learn something important." Sophie wasn't sure if she wanted to travel without her mom, but curiosity won. First stop, the land of animals. The train stopped at the first station, and Sophie got off. She found herself in a beautiful land full of animals. Sophie loved animals, so she immediately felt better. A little bunny approached her and said, "Hi, Sophie, I'm Bunny Hoppy. Come, I'll show you how we take care of each other." Sophie followed the bunny and saw how the animals helped each other. Whenever one had a problem, the others were always ready to help. Bunny Hoppy asked, "And you, Sophie, do you let others help you, or do you always rely only on your mom?" Sophie thought for a moment, but didn't know what to answer. She felt a bit ashamed. Second stop, the land of toys. The train moved on and stopped in a land full of toys. Sophie was delighted. Everywhere were dolls, blocks, cars, and plush toys. But when she began to play, she noticed something strange. The toys didn't want to work properly. A bear named Teddy Huggy approached her and said, "Hi, Sophie, I'm Teddy Huggy." "The toys aren't working because they don't know how to cooperate. They need help from someone who can show them how." Sophie tried to fix the toys herself, but it didn't work. Teddy Huggy suggested, "Maybe we should try together, Sophie. You'll see that together we can do more." Sophie agreed and began to cooperate with Teddy Huggy. Together they fixed all the toys. Sophie realized that sometimes it's worth asking for help and trusting others. Third stop, the land of dreams. The train stopped at the last station, the land of dreams. It was beautiful there, and colorful balloons floated in the air. Sophie met a fairy named Sparkle Fairy, who said, "Welcome, Sophie. I'm Sparkle Fairy. I want to show you something important." Sparkle Fairy took Sophie on a tour of the land of dreams and showed her how different people cooperate to achieve their goals. For example, how children build sandcastles together instead of alone, or how families prepare meals together. Sparkle Fairy asked, "Sophie, do you see how important it is to trust others and allow them to help?" Sophie understood that she doesn't have to rely solely on her mom. Her dad and others can also help her and make her feel safe and happy. Return home. The train magically returned Sophie to her bed. The girl woke up and saw that she was in her room. Her mom was sitting next to her, and her dad was just entering the room. "Mom, Dad, I had an amazing dream," Sophie said with a smile. "I know now that I can trust and rely on both of you." Her mom and dad hugged Sophie, and her dad proposed, "Maybe tonight I can read you a bedtime story." Sophie smiled and said, "Yes, Dad, I would love that." From that day on, Sophie began to spend more time with her dad, and allowed him to participate in her daily activities. She realized that love and support can be found from many people, not just her mom. Sophie and her new adventures. Sophie began to discover how wonderful adventures with her dad could be. Together, they built castles from blocks, drew colorful pictures, and read books. Sophie felt increasingly confident and happy. One day, when her mom was busy, Sophie asked her dad to help her with her bath. Her dad agreed with a smile, and Sophie saw that her dad could also make her feel safe and loved. Sophie learns trust. Sophie understood that trusting others is important. Thanks to this, she could enjoy various adventures and experience new things. She knew her mom would always be close, but now she also had her dad, who could help and support her in every situation. Sophie learned that love and support can be found in many places, and trusting others gives her strength and joy. Now, Sophie was ready for new adventures, knowing she could always count on her mom and dad. Dream of the magical train. Every night when Sophie fell asleep, she thought of her magical train and the adventures she had. She knew she would always carry in her heart the valuable lessons she learned during her journey. Sophie understood that trust and cooperation are the keys to happiness, and that it's worth allowing others to help. Thanks to this, she felt stronger and more confident. Conclusion. Sophie not only learned to trust her dad, but also discovered how much joy and love can be found by opening up to others. Her life became full of adventures and happiness, and the magical train always reminded her of the importance of trust and cooperation. And so ends the story of little Sophie and her magical train. Every night when Sophie fell asleep, she knew she could always count on the support and love of her family.